I'm not mistaken. And I'm
Yep.
not, which is cool. And let's just go ahead and start it up. It's HasuObs spawning down here in the bottom left with the GLHF and Liquid.Ret up here in the top right. Ret, one of the coolest guys in esports. I don't know what makes him so cool. I think it's just his attitude. He's just so chill.
He just he sits back, man, and he just observes everything, and he gives his input so like nonchalantly. That's what makes him so cool. He is the Fonz, man.
He is. He's esports Fonzie.
On the other hand, HasuObs, I was actually talking about this on stream. HasuObs known for his incessant rage all the time. I was actually telling the story of HasuObs and how he actually raged at you, Bitter. I was talking about this to Frodan. You guys had a $10,000 bet with also the icing on the cake was a Rochambeau. You lost the bet. You didn't want to pay up, and he got angry, ever so angry. He just started tearing everything to pieces, broke a monitor in half, and then that was when the story of as mad as HasuObs was born.
That's not where that story came from at all.
I'm pretty sure it was, dude. I told it on NASL stream, so it had to be true.
No, Hasu is one of the sweetest guys in the world. But the as mad as Hasu joke comes from like this, for whatever reason, like in recent history, like Hasu has just been very angry. It's like we'll be playing a tournament or something, and something will happen, and he'll immediately call over a ref and be like, "This is completely unacceptable." Just like super serious mode. I don't know why Hasu's been so mad lately, but he's definitely playing good StarCraft. So hopefully that can provide him a bit of an outlet for all that anger.
Well,
Ret looked like he wanted to get an early hatch down, but Hasu's going to block it. Ret's just going to go ahead and take his third. Which
in the meantime,
good stuff.
Yeah, HasuObs going for the Nexus first. This is something that we are pretty comfortable with seeing for HasuObs and Ret, I should say. Both these players normally have to worry about cannon rushes or cannon rushing your opponent if they want to get a super quick third or natural or something like that. But both these players just do not play that style, and you can see already Forge, Gateway, and then probably a cannon. I could even see him going to double assimilator before getting the cannon. That's how standard and also sometimes reactive these players can be. But no, probably going to throw down the cannon, and HasuObs is going to play absolutely standard from here on out.
Yeah, Hasu is like we said, super safe, super standard. He's not gonna cut any corners here against Ret, who, in spite of the fact that Ret has a reputation for being, for playing a certain way, he's a great tournament player, and he will mix it up, and he will throw in something crazy. And so Hasu knows that. He's going to show him the respect that he deserves, and he's going to get that cannon going. Ret with a very, very fast 3 bases. I like very much when Zergs take their third before their natural Andre, because it allows you to creep outside of your third so much faster, and this is a metagame where Protoss wants to attack into that third base. So when Hasu comes with his push, whenever that may be, and Ret's got creep all the way to these ramps, or all the way past that smoke screen, or all the way to the Zelnaga tower, it's going to be so much harder for Hasu to get pylons down and to mount a very successful attack because of all that extra creep and mobility and vision that Ret's going to have.
Yeah, and I think obviously that helps out a lot with these 2-base pushes, or particularly Blink Stalkers, and getting around to the place. Now, Blink Stalkers, normally they're able to get into this 3rd base position and just ravage on that hatchery, and then it forces a lot of kind of terrible engagements, but it's because Zergs cannot react to it because they have no spotters over there. Now all of a sudden you have this invisible creep tumor that can see when the stalkers are coming, and you can position your units very nicely. So that's really important to note, and I completely agree with you, Bitter.
Yay. I love it when you agree with me, Andre. It makes me feel smart. Because you're such a smart guy.
Oh, you're so nice.
Lots of drones going up here for Ret. He's sitting on about 38 drones right now. Hasu's done a good job keeping up. He's on about 33, 34 probes. Just chrono boosting these two Nexuses? Nexon?
I think it's Nexusauruses.
Nexusauruses.
Yeah, it's Greek.
Nexopotami.
There you go.
Ret is at risk of losing this Overlord. Hasu's going to come down here with his Stalker and get no more shots off, so it will safely retreat to higher ground. And Robo is already down for Hasu, so this is already, at this point, telling us a little bit about how he wants to play, and that is kind of standard, especially on Daybreak. Robotics plays are very common on this map for a few reasons. Immortal pushes are good on any map. But what's also very common here is taking a very fast third base off of some Sentry Immortal, and it's really difficult for Zerg to punish that.
Yeah. Now, something I'm a little bit interested in is what's up with HasuObs' Chrono Boost plus the +1s. He has a ton of Chrono Boost saved up on both of his Nexus, and he has a lot of different places to actually apply them to, the robotics facility, the forge, etc. But just now starting both of them, this is really weird since he's had such a huge stockpile. Do you know any insight into that, Bitter?
You know, I'm not particularly sure, Andre. What we can see is that on the production tab, Hasu's building an Immortal, and he also has a Warp Prism queued up. So we're going to see some Immortal Warp Prism action here on Daybreak, and I do not think that Ret's going to be expecting anything like that.
No, definitely not. And
but boy, has Ret done a good job of droning.
Pressure, though. I mean, it could be this kind of really quick pressure that you do. And you use the Warp Prism as just a way to micro your Immortals so they never take damage, and you'll be able to do this consistent attack with Immortals and really shell out a ton of damage on potential roaches. It's just, you know, look at the units tab right now. It is showing 69 drones against 49 probes. I mean, HasuObs has done nothing to really pressure his opponent, and he hasn't chrono boosted out his Nexuses to get probes out in time to actually equalize with his opponent. So this is going to be very tough. There's the 8 gateways that actually go down. So he's on 8 gateway row, and just as you said, he will be doing... Oh, wow, look at this. He's just going to pressure with the claw timing directly behind this.
Very interesting. So Immortals are coming. They've been spotted by very good Overlord placement, so Ret should not be at all surprised by this. And whoa, that's not going to work. You don't want to unload right there. Warp Prism taking some fire, but doesn't lose any real any of its actual life. It will regenerate those shields very quickly. Ret is just in massive roach production mode right now. He's got 24 roaches out. He's got 14 more about to pop, and we're going to see Ret maxing out by about the 12-minute mark.
Yes, most definitely. I mean, he's gone unimpeded the whole game. I don't really see, you know, many options for HasuObs actually. And the fact that Ret has a Zergling in the mid left-hand position should notify him that, okay, my opponent isn't going at third base. Let me go ahead and just prepare for this 2-base all-in. That should actually cue a Spire to go down immediately, and for him to get Corruptors, or potentially Corruptors, because his opponent is capable of doing, you know, this like double robotics facility type of play, where they can get a ton of Immortals and Colossus out in the same time. So you need to be able to counter one of them, if not both of them with Mutas, but we haven't seen that just yet. So I am kind of interested to see where HasuObs goes from here. I'm not sure if this is going to work completely, just because Ret has, you know, Ret has the ability to go anywhere at any time. He can go into Festers, Mass Roach Zergling. He has a huge bank that he's going to be building up for another round. So instead of 200-200 that HasuObs is going against, it's like 250 out of 200.
The thing that most like about Ret's play is that he's going to counterattack, and this is the biggest key to dealing with these 2-base all-ins. A 2-base all-in is strong not with the first punch, but with the reinforcements that constantly back it up.
Yeah.
And you take the legs out from that kind of a push with a big counter, like we're seeing right now. Roach is coming right up into the natural expansion of Hasu. He is expecting something like this, knowing Ret's style. Got a lot of cannons down, but it's not even going to matter. It's just too many roaches, and Hasu's going to have to turn around, and this is going to give Ret so much time.
Yeah, the replacement of supply is going to help out in that he can get infestors, he can get additional Spire tech. But look at this, he will clean everything up, but as you said, Bitter, I mean, this might look like a fruitless effort, but the time is so important for Ret so that he can get the best composition possible for these Colossus.
And now he's going to have a massive Roach Zergling force that he can use to engage Hasu out. You know, he can do it out on the map. He can continue to counterattack. He's got Tunneling Claws complete. That was very important. Comes in and gets a couple of shots off and then immediately disengaging. Ret not getting a Spire, not getting a Hive. Doesn't really have And as the Colossi, other than his numbers, is going to come forward once again. Roaches engaging all over these gateway units. Hasu just going to warp in right on top of it. Really good fight for Hasu with good force fields and the Colossi being so very effective. Ret's going to have no choice but to try and counterattack once again. And he's going to go in right behind this push as soon as Hasu leaves.
Yep, that's the right decision. Now at this point, I think HasuObs can actually, or excuse me, Ret can drop back all the way to his main. Just go for the counterattack. No, he's not going to. He's going to go for a huge flank. See if this works out. Fungal Growth goes on directly. He needs a lot of time for this Fungal Growth, so I don't know if he has that.
These Zealots in range of the Spine Crawlers. The flanking is an interesting choice. We'll see if it's the right one. Good use of Fungal here. Ret's really buying himself some valuable time. Wants to max out, wants to get this last round of roaches in, but Hasu's doing a great job of warping in, keeping this push alive. Excellent use of Fungal by Ret, though. And here we go. He's going to engage once again. Hasu with good force fields, but not perfect force fields. Roaches are going to get up on top of these Colossi. One Colossus down, two Colossi are down. And without the Colossi, I don't think Hasu's going to have much of a chance of sustaining this push. He's not going to be able to get through these Spine Crawlers.
And so many roaches are back in production. All he needs to do from here is just continue that. Look at that. He kept the infestors for most of this time. So he has infested Terrans or potentially fungal growths if he waits a little bit longer. He needs to be careful with those infestors. There they finally go. The infested Terrans will be cleaned up pretty easily, but additional roach rounds are coming in here. And these trades do not work out for HasuObs. Remember, there's an extra base up for Ret. It helps him so much, so he gets 150% more army than his opponent.
Very well done by Ret. This is a textbook defense of one of these big two-base Colossus all-ins. They're very, very hard to stop, and we can see that Ret is still struggling with it, even though he's battered Hasu down to just 70 supply. But at the end of the day, these roaches are going to be able to hold the line, I think. I mean, they should. Of course, there's so many more in production, so many more popping out. +2 is done. This Colossus has been a hero, up to 27 kills. Ret's going to dart forward once again. And Hasu trying to micro as well as he can, but how do you micro against this many roaches?
Exactly. I mean, the production for Ret is just outstanding. And he's going to try to do a little bit of cute micro at that end, but nothing else. GG gets called out, and Ret will take